101.1 and AM 1160 WCCS and at WCCSradio.com.
It is Indiana in the Morning, always presented by First Commonwealth Bank. It's WCCS, and good morning to you. 12 minutes after 8 o'clock, Indiana County District Attorney Bob Manzi is with us, and our visit presented by Marcus & Mack, voted Best Law Firm and Best Personal Injury Lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. I know we're always concerned with catching bad guys, prosecuting bad guys, and protecting the public and everything, but this is a way to protect the public and not necessarily a bad guy sort of scenario, although that could be. The Senior Expo is coming up, and your office is, of course, presenting this, and it's a wonderful thing for seniors, and it's tomorrow, correct?
Yes, tomorrow from 8 in the morning until noon. We're hosting a free Senior Summit 2025. We've been doing this since 2000 in one form or another. Senior Summit has been the last 4 years once we got through COVID. Mm-hmm. It's a free event. Anybody can come and join us for free. We're inviting the entire community, not only for seniors, but maybe people that have senior parents who they want to come and learn about ways to help their parents, their aunts, uncles, grandparents, prevent scams, prevent identity theft, learn ways to protect themselves and their property from these thieves that they spend every day trying to find ways to separate us from our money.
Yeah. So where is it?
The event's going to be held at the YMCA of Indiana County. Mm-hmm. We're putting everything together tonight. We have room for up to 200 folks there. Anybody can come for free. Just show up tomorrow morning. We'll have coffee and light refreshments in the morning. We'll be going from 8 in the morning till noon. And we have a number of presenters from, local agencies. We have state agencies come in. We have people presenting on cybersecurity, scam preventions. We're going to do a presentation on property notifications, mm-hmm. where if somebody tries to do something with your house, with your land, at the Recorder of Deeds office, you'll be notified, and you can stop any scam or any theft from there happening. We get to play fraud bingo throughout the morning, which is great to learn about the different tactics to prevent yourself from becoming victim of a scam and walk away with some prizes. Yeah. And we have about 30 or 40 vendors that are going to be there providing information on services that they provide to help people protect themselves and protect their money.
Yeah, it's really important. We hear the stories, and they're so sad, of elderly folks especially who fall victim to scammers. And sometimes you hear the commercials from the national networks, and they say things like the title protection scam. And we say, well, how could somebody fall victim to that? How could anybody be fooled by something like that? Gosh, it's everywhere. And as you have said before, it only takes one for these people to have what they consider to be a successful day. Oh,
yeah, that's it. And, we'll hear about people not reporting being a victim of a crime. And there's a lot of emotions attached to that. They're angry at themselves for falling victim. Mm-hmm. They're embarrassed. They look at that and say, man, how could I fall victim to that? And, this Senior Summit is part of a comprehensive effort to get information out there. I go out to senior centers throughout the year. So this is kind of a main event through the year, but we go out to senior centers every month to provide a lot of the similar information because we want to reach as many people as we can. And I tell people, don't feel embarrassed or angry. You need to report it because we have people who are very educated, very intelligent. They run multi-million-dollar businesses, mm-hmm. and they fall victim to scams. These thieves spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to find ways to steal money. And, they're good at what they do.
Sure.
And, like we say, if they try to steal from 1,000 people and they steal from one, that's more money that they started with. So, yeah. We want people to be open and honest and to share that information amongst themselves, too. You help protect your neighbors and your friends from falling victim to these scams.
8 a.m. to noon?
It's going to be we start at 8 a.m. If you're able to be there for the entire time, that's great. If you're only able to be there for part of it, that's great, too. Mm-hmm. We welcome people just to show up, and, we're ready with a lot of great information.
There you go. That's the YMCA. I wanted to ask you this because, as a bit of a an exemplary case, but we can apply it in a broader sense than the specific question I'm going to ask you. The Kevin Foley retrial is making its way. Not really a retrial; it's a petition for relief, but a past case that comes up, such as that one. That was 2009, I believe, the murder was committed, and so here it is in 2025. We're coming up on 15 years later, and we're wondering how do you, as a prosecutor, go about getting yourself prepared if the case should ever come back before the court and there be a retrial ordered. When retrials happen, all of the principals, some of them might not even be alive anymore. Most of them have moved on to other positions. Attorneys are doing other things. They might even be judges, and evidence changes. All of the different officers involved in the investigation. All of these things are different, and yet you're being asked to start something, a whole process all over again. And it seems to me like that would be a very, very difficult thing to put together. But you're right there in the middle of it, so you tell me.
Oh, it's incredibly difficult. Now, the Kevin Foley case, that was prosecuted by the State Attorney General's office and will continue to be prosecuted by their office. Mm-hmm. My office has never been involved in that. But we've been involved in those retrial cases from 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is the work you put into the trial today because you want to present all the evidence. You want to make sure all of that's on the record. Because if you happen to have a retrial 20 years down the road, there's legal mechanisms to just present the testimony that was presented at the original trial at the new trial. Mm-hmm. But you preserve evidence. Whenever we have a homicide case, we have to package up that evidence, and we preserve it until the defendant, the convicted defendant, dies. So we'll keep that for 60 years if we need to. Uh-huh. So we have a number of bins over there that are protected in areas in the county where just in case that happens, we're ready for a retrial. But you want to fight the motions and use the law that we're able to use to stop that from even happening. Mm-hmm. As an inmate who's going to be serving life in prison, they got nothing better to do but try to find ways to have their conviction overturned.
Sure. And
the courts recognize that, it's kind of like they're going to throw anything against the wall to see if something sticks. And the vast majority of the time, nothing sticks. That conviction is going to be upheld, and they're going to remain in prison. But, we're ready to fight motions because the victims and their family deserve to have that case closed and never have it reopened. And if the law requires that it be reopened, there's a lot of mechanisms in the law to present testimony that was presented at the original trial and present any witnesses that are still around.
Now, in many cases, the laws change. Sentencing guidelines change. Things do change. Mm-hmm. I would assume that if they got a retrial, it would be different than in another case. But, laws that applied in 2005 for a case, for instance, here 20 years later, if the law has changed substantially, would the new law be more apropos, or would the old law apply?
Well, it depends on what the change of the law is. Sometimes there's a change in the law, but, when they create those laws, the legislature will specify that it is not retroactive. It changes, but it starts at the effective date now. Mm-hmm. So there's no retroactive application of that law. There's also portions of the law that simply say, when that's done, it's done. The old cases are done. So you can't reopen it for every change in the law. Cases have to be finished. But there are times where you will have a change in the law that can be retroactive, and that opens up those old convictions that need to be reopened and re-looked at case by case to see, mm-hmm. What we are able to do and, what the new laws and what the new policies are going to have us do. So it really depends upon how the legislature creates those laws or how our courts in the appellate divisions address that issue.
Two of the big things that come up when defendants are asking for retrials are they contend that ineffective counsel, and the other is that the judge made a bad decision in allowing this or that to be introduced into evidence.
Oh, absolutely. And the PCRA, which is the Post-Conviction Relief Act, that's usually where a defendant will make a motion and say, hey, my trial attorney was ineffective because of A, B, or C. And, we'll defend those. And as long as the attorney has a reasonable basis for what they did, their decision could be wrong. But as long as they have a reasonable basis to do what they did or make a decision for what they did, then the courts are going to uphold the conviction and deny that motion. Mm-hmm. Or if it's something where, they're contesting that the judge made a bad decision, they abused their discretion, or they didn't apply the law correctly, that's where in an appeal the appellate court would overturn it. But again, that's what we always talk about being in trial. We want to make sure we do it right the first time because we don't want to have those cases reopened down the road.
Relitigating them constantly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, difficult way to go about your life. Indiana County District Attorney Bob Manzi is with us. You've had a number of different convictions in recent weeks. The decisions keep coming down. It doesn't seem like the court schedule will ever be completely clear. It would be a wonderful thing if it was. We could put you out of that job. But
that would be great. I was out at Homer City High School yesterday speaking in one of the classes, and we talk about we want to work with prevention. That's the great part about our event tomorrow. We want to work so much with prevention because I would rather crimes not happen. As we always talk about with DUIs, we're in here talking about all the time. We're warning people, hey, we're out looking for DUI drivers because I want you to make a plan and not be DUI. I don't want people to commit crimes. Mm-hmm. Our goal is that main prevention, but we'll keep working because no matter what you do, crimes will always be getting committed, and we want to be ready to aggressively prosecute folks and have an outcome that's right for that case.
Yeah. All right, so you completed the Boston Marathon. Are the legs recovered yet?
They're recovered. They're getting there, and I think we're going to shelve the marathon running for a little bit. That was a goal of mine for about 25 years. Loved doing it. It was a great experience. Mm-hmm. But it's time to focus on some other things in life.
Well, you had a pretty darn good time through it.
I felt good. I appreciate that. It was just such an awesome experience.
Yeah. Running through Boston. Oh, what an experience that must have been.
Running through Boston and having, 26 miles of people cheering for you and other runners cheering for you and you cheering for other runners. You come up on that finish and, for anybody that's run a long distance race, a marathon, a half marathon, or, whatever that goal is for them, whatever that stretch is for them, coming across that finish line, no matter how sore you are, no matter how tired you are, you just get a great rush, and it feels fantastic.
Yeah. Good stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
He is the District Attorney of Indiana County, Bob Manzi. Thanks so much. It is Indiana in the Morning, and it's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Boomer Sports, and then Matt from the newsroom.
This is Boomer and Science with the Sportsman Ed. Sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. 3 Canadian teams have reached the Stanley Cup playoffs final 8 for the first time since 2004. President's Trophy